Flight status bar. The left part of the top status bar is the warning zone. That displays the status of the drone. If a drone fault is detected, the zone becomes red or orange, displays a warning message, and keeps flashing. Tap the message for more details, and the flashing will then stop. When you operate the drone, keep a lookout for warning messages in the warning zone, and perform troubleshooting in time. The middle part of the status bar displays the flight mode and flight status, including information for indicating the current status of the drone. The right part of the status bar displays status icons. This icon indicates whether the load of the propulsion system is normal. If a prompt appears indicating a propulsion system error, reduce the flight load until the prompt disappears. These are the RTK and satellite icons. The RTK icon, when in white, indicates that positioning is normal. When in red, indicates that there is no signal. And when in gray, indicates that RTK is disabled. Tap the icon, toggle the switch to enable RTK, and then check the signal quality and the number of satellites. The satellite icon displays the current GNSS status of the drone. The number displayed indicates the number of satellites searched by the drone. When the displayed signal is strong and the number of satellites exceeds 15, the drone can take off. The RC signal icon displays the quality of the current remote controller signal and the video transmission signal. The white, yellow, and red colors of this icon indicate strong signals, intermediate signals, and weak signals, respectively. If there is no signal at all, the icon turns into the letter X in red. If the drone is performing a long-distance task, or signal blockage occurs within the flight area, you can tap the 4G icon and then enable enhanced video transmission. For more details, watch the video tutorial for 4G enhanced video transmission. The battery icon varies based on the battery status. Tap the icon to view information about the batteries in the front and rear battery compartments, including the battery level, voltage, and temperature. You can select whether to display the battery level as the remaining flight time or mileage. Settings. The icon is the entry to settings. Tap this icon to enter the settings panel. The cloud services icon displays the cloud service status. If this icon is gray, the cloud service is disabled. If this icon is white, the cloud service is enabled. If this icon is white with a transmission symbol beside it, the cloud service is being connected. Tap the icon for more details. Tap the route library shortcut icon to retrieve or edit flight routes in the route library. The red, yellow, and green progress bar below the status bar displays the battery level and the remaining flight time or mileage of the intelligent flight battery. After the drone takes off, this area displays the remaining flight time or mileage. The red, yellow, and green ranges in the progress bar indicate the battery level of the drone. The green color indicates that the battery level is sufficient for the flight. The yellow color indicates that the battery level is low. In this case, ensure the drone flies near the pilot. The red color indicates that the battery level is critically low. In this case, the drone must land as soon as possible for battery replacement. The two white dots in the progress bar represent the power value thresholds manually set for the low battery alarm and the critically low battery alarm. For example, we can set the power value threshold for the low battery alarm to 30% and the threshold for the critically low battery alarm to 15%. When the battery level drops to 30%, the remote controller beeps. When the battery level drops to 15%, the remote controller triggers the critically low battery alarm. The drone must return to home or land promptly. The yellow H icon in the progress bar represents the power value for automatic RTH recommended by the intelligent battery. When the battery level reaches this value, the remote controller prompts that the remaining battery level is sufficient only for RTH. During a flight task, the accessibility can be estimated based on the battery level. You can see the destination point of the current follow route, and the battery level required for flying to the alternate landing site or the waypoint. FPV view, primary flight display, wind direction and speed. The arrow represents the wind direction relative to the drone nose. SPD, is the horizontal flight speed of the drone. Horizontal obstacle display. If an obstacle exists in the horizontal direction, the distance from the obstacle will be displayed. When horizontal obstacle avoidance is disabled, OFF will be displayed, to remind you that horizontal obstacle avoidance is disabled. VS indicates the lifting speed. ALT indicates the altitude of the drone relative to the takeoff point. LIM indicates the specified altitude limit. RTH indicates the specified RTH altitude. ASL indicates the altitude of the drone relative to the average sea level. HSL navigation display provides the horizontal information about the drone, including the distance from home point and obstacle detection information. The red triangle paper plane icon indicates the drone, and its tip indicates the nose of the drone. When the drone rotates, the trace wheel rotates with the drone. The paper plane icon always points forward. Horizontal speed vector. The white line extending from the paper plane icon indicates the flight direction and speed of the drone. The longer the white line, the faster the drone is flying. This number indicates that the drone nose yaws 72 degrees in a clockwise direction starting north in the compass. Remote controller icon. The blue dot indicates the position of the remote controller. This icon appears if the distance between the remote controller and home point exceeds 5 meters. If the horizontal distance between the remote controller and the drone exceeds 16 meters, the remote controller icon will stay on the edge of the navigation display. When the compass of the remote controller functions properly, the remote controller icon in the trace wheel shows the direction of the remote controller. Home point icon. The yellow H icon in the trace wheel indicates the position of home point relative to the drone. If the horizontal distance between home point and the drone exceeds 16 meters, the home point icon will stay on the edge of the navigation display. Information displayed in the four corners. The top left corner displays waypoint information, including the name of the waypoint, the horizontal distance between the drone and the waypoint, and the ascending or descending trend of the immediate flight route during a flight task. The top right corner displays pinpoint information, including the name of the pinpoint, and the horizontal distance between the drone and the pinpoint. The bottom right corner displays the horizontal distance between the drone and home point. Obstacle avoidance information. You can set the brake distance and warning distance based on your needs. If an obstacle is detected from over 16 meters away, the edge of the radar ball turns green, and the horizontal distance between the obstacle and the drone is displayed. If an obstacle is detected within 16 meters, the edge of the radar ball turns orange, and the horizontal distance between the obstacle and the drone is displayed. In this case, fly with caution. If the obstacle avoidance system of the drone is disabled, OFF will be displayed. Icons on the left side. Gimbal adjustment shortcuts. Tap the icon above to recenter the gimbal. Tap the icon below to point the gimbal downward. The AR projected landing point is also displayed. Parachute icon. Tap this icon to deploy the parachute. Use this function only when the drone has abnormal conditions. Among the frequently used features on the left, L3 displays a map thumbnail. Press the L3 button to display the map in full screen. The middle left part displays icons for line metering. The right part displays icons for GEO zone layer management. Centering, quickly returning to the area where the drone is. Map rotation locking. Satellite/standard layer switch for the map. And erasure of flight trajectory. During a flight, you can see in the map a blue triangle that indicates the drone, a blue icon that indicates the remote controller, and a yellow H icon. In normal cases, the yellow H icon is close to the blue remote controller icon. During a flight, there is also a blue line connecting the H icon and the triangle. This line indicates the RTH path of the drone. Observe the map and the blue straight line to avoid obstacles such as tall buildings and mountains on the RTH path. Pinpoint features. In Map View, press the L1 button to add a pinpoint at the center of the screen. The altitude of the pinpoint is the current flight altitude of the drone. Tap a pinpoint on the map. To view the user who added the pinpoint, the distance between this pinpoint and the drone, and the altitude, latitude, and longitude of the pinpoint. You can also set the pinpoint as home point, the target waypoint, or the alternate landing site, or delete the pinpoint. After you select a pinpoint, you can edit its name, color, latitude, longitude, and altitude.